All right, let's talk about a story that absolutely sent shockwaves to the world of artificial intelligence. It's one of those classic underdog tales, a story about disruption, insane efficiency, and a brand new player that came out of nowhere to challenge the biggest names in the game.
So first, you got to understand the landscape. Building a truly world-class AI model, something like OpenAI's GPT-4, is an unbelievably expensive business. We are talking budgets that are way, way north of $100 million. That kind of money creates this massive barrier to entry. It's like an exclusive club where only the wealthiest tech giants can even afford a seat at the table.
And that leads us to the absolute heart of our story today. How on earth did a totally new company from a different part of the world manage to create a model that could go head-to-head with the very best for just a tiny, tiny fraction of the cost?
$6 million. That is the number. And no, that is not a typo. When you compare that to the $100 million plus price tags of its competitors, you start to understand why this figure sent tremors through the entire industry. This right here is the miracle we're about to unpack.
So what we have here is a classic David versus Goliath showdown. On one side, you've got the establishment, the $100 million club, and on the other, this scrappy $6 million challenger.
So let's meet our players. You know the one on the left, the incumbent champion, OpenAI's ChatGPT, which has pretty much dominated the AI world. And on the right, our challenger, a company out of China called DeepSeek.
So who is DeepSeek anyway? Well, they were founded just in May of 2023 by a guy named Liang Wenfeng, and they're fully funded by his own hedge fund, High Flyer. Right from the get-go, their mission was crystal clear. Build powerful AI that's not only cost-efficient, but, and this is the crucial part, open source. So, how in the world did they pull it off? What's the secret weapon? What's the secret sauce that let a brand new company achieve this kind of power and efficiency right out of the gate? Well, the answer really starts with one core idea: open source. See, unlike proprietary models where all the inner workings are a total secret, open source means the recipe, the actual source code, is published for the whole world to see, to use, and even to improve upon. And when you go open source, something amazing happens. It sparks this fire of global collaboration. Suddenly, developers from all over the world can jump in and tweak the AI for specific needs. The community itself drives innovation, and all that transparency builds a ton of trust. What it really does is democratize powerful technology, yanking it out of the hands of just a few massive companies. And this quote really highlights the fundamental difference in philosophy. While ChatGPT kind of operates like a mysterious black box, DeepSeek made the choice to be totally transparent, sharing its algorithms and even its training details with anyone who is interested. And believe me, this open source philosophy has a massive, massive impact on real-world costs. So to process about 750,000 words, which is measured in these units called tokens, it costs a developer just 14 cents using DeepSeek. To do the exact same thing with OpenAI's GPT-4, $7.50. The difference is just mind-blowing.
So let's just recap the two completely different approaches here. DeepSeek is open, it lets you host it on your own computer for total privacy, and it runs on a freemium model. ChatGPT is proprietary, it's cloud-based only, and it really relies on that premium subscription to unlock all its best stuff.
Now, this wasn't just some theoretical debate in a boardroom. Oh no. The arrival of DeepSeek had immediate, very tangible, and, frankly, dramatic effects across the entire global tech industry.
I mean, just look at how fast this all happened. The company is founded in May 2023. Literally 1 year later, it kicks off a price war in China. By January 2025, its app becomes the most downloaded free app in the entire US, beating ChatGPT. And then, just a few days after that, the stock of tech giant NVIDIA takes a huge nosedive.
Yeah, the impact was so big it was felt by the hardware giants. NVIDIA, the company that makes the essential computer chips for AI training, saw its stock drop by 18%. Now, why would that happen? Because DeepSeek proved that with really clever software and smarter training methods, you could get top-tier results without needing the most expensive top-of-the-line hardware.
And the disruption wasn't just contained to the US. Over in China, DeepSeek's launch ignited an all-out price war. Huge players like Alibaba, Baidu, and Tencent were immediately forced to just slash the prices of their own AI models to have any hope of staying competitive.
So, after all that chaos, what does this all mean for the future of AI? For us as users and for the industry as a whole. What is the big takeaway here?
Well, on a practical level, it means we have more choices, and each tool has its own unique strengths. So if you're writing code, trying to solve a really complex technical problem, or you just need strict logical reasoning, DeepSeek is really emerging as the stronger and definitely more cost-effective choice. But if you're trying to brainstorm creative stories, write some fun marketing copy, or just have a more human-like chat, ChatGPT still really shines.
But when you zoom out, this is so much bigger than just which chatbot you should use. This signals a fundamental shift in the global AI landscape. For years, the US has been the undisputed leader. DeepSeek's incredible success is a clear sign that China has become a really powerful challenger, kicking off a whole new era of global competition.
And that leaves all of us with one final, massive question. DeepSeek has thrown down the gauntlet. It represents a future where powerful AI is open, collaborative, and affordable for everyone. The established giants, well, they represent a future that's proprietary, closed off, and premium priced. So which one of those paths is going to define the next decade of technology? That's the question DeepSeek has forced us all to ask.